Well, again, this is a spot where I've caught a chub in the past, but I'm not too hopeful today, to be honest. I'll leave the worm on. Bit of an undercut on this bank here. Hi, today I'm going to chance my luck on the St Ives Chubb stream. I say chance my luck because recent visits here have been less than spectacular. One fish is regarded as a success. 2 fish is a damn good day. That sort of contrasts from the first time I fished this stream, which was about 4 years ago, when on my very first visit to what was a new water I managed 4 chub. So things have gone downhill a bit. I don't know why that is. It could be because it's fished more. On one of those early visits I was chatting to a dog walker, and he said to me he'd never seen anyone fishing on this stream before. He was quite surprised. Now, given dog walkers tend to walk up and down most days, I guess... oh, someone else is here, hold on. Well, I think, as I was just about to start to say, I think it's fished a bit more, which was quite prophetic really, because another angler just turned up and started chatting to me, which in a way is not good news. You get 1 fish out of a swim here, so if there's somebody else in front of me, I think that's going to lower the or increase the odds, should I say, of getting anything today, which is a bit unfortunate, but there we go, can't be helped. Anyway, yeah, I lost my thread there because I was halfway through my chat and somebody else came along. Anyway, I'm going to get started now, so fingers crossed that we'll get 1 fish out at least. But as I say, it was always going to be a challenge, and it's probably going to be more a challenge now because I'm following somebody else along the stream, so never good news, but there we go, that's life. Right, let's get going. Right, I'm at the very beginning of the stretch here, and I tend to do it this way round now because it saves me walking too far to start with, and basically I have caught a fish here. I think it was on my previous outing under that bush over there, so that's where I'm starting. Maybe too big a bit of bread, but we'll give it a go. Something trembling it. Oh, could have been a bite. It's moving down a bit today. I've got 3 swan shot on this link, may not be enough. Try a smaller bit of bread. That's a good cast. Fingers crossed. Maybe there's no chub down there today. Usually if there's a chub in the vicinity, they go for it fairly quickly, so maybe not today. No, I think if there was one down there, it would have had to go by now. So, probably time to move on. Right, I'm moving along to the next spot. Bit disappointed really, that's a little bit of a hot spot where I just tried, but if I didn't catch there, some of the other spots are not so hot. But anyway, we'll try somewhere else. There's a spot here where I've caught before, so let's have a go here. Bit of a blind cast here, just cast it down and hope for the best really. As I was saying in the intro, actually I'm not sure I did say it in the intro because the intro sort of got disturbed when I broke off to speak to the other guy, but when I first fished here, as I say about 4 years ago, it was pretty obvious by the state of the banks that it wasn't fished very much. There weren't any obvious sort of places. I'll give one or two perhaps, but other than that there weren't any obvious places people have sort of fashioned out to fish. But that's all changed now. There's always a lot of weed in this swim. Oh, caught up again. I've decided I'll probably come back to these early swims, and there are a couple of spots further down that I really fancy, so I'm hoping, probably against hope, that the other guy hasn't gone into them. But I'll go down to them first, fingers crossed perhaps, and if nothing there, then I'll make my way back. It's all gone a bit wrong really, hasn't it? I'm so used to having this stretch to myself that it comes a bit as a shock when someone else turns up. Well, there's no sign of the other chap. What I don't know, of course, is whether he's popped into any of these spots. But I've walked a fair way down now. He could be out of sight, and a spot up there, which I passed without being able to see him. Or he could literally be going to the other end of the stream. There's another half mile of it, but I've never found that end of the stream that good. So, but if he has gone down the other end, that's good in a way. It means we've got the chance to try a few spots that haven't been dipped in. So this used to be my number one spot, but recently it's like most of the stream, it's not provided. It's a tricky spot to fish, as you can see with the tree overhead. Have to keep the rod sideways all the time. Probably. This used to be a spot where I'd get an instant bite. But not today. As I say, what I don't know is whether he's already been in here, and if so, there's no chance of a second one. No, now I'm doing. In the past, when I've caught chub here, it's been literally immediate. Once you drop that bait down behind that tree, you get a bite. So I don't know. Perhaps he's already taken one out of here. Perhaps they're just not here. Not shaping up very well, is it, today? There are other spots to try, but as I say, one fish out of each spot is usually all you're ever going to get. And let's try going over there a bit so it swings around a bit more. Not even any nibbles. I'm in some weed. Yeah. I'm going to try one more cast and perhaps try a worm. That may provoke something different. Right, let's try a worm. Maybe something else down there other than chub, you never know. Although chub obviously will take a worm, but I'm not sure there's any chub down there at the moment. I think we would have known about it by now if there were. Oh, kingfisher just went zooming through, blink of an eyelid. Nah, there's nothing down there, is there? Or nothing interested anyway. Right, I'm going to move along one more spot and then make my way back, but I've sort of tried the most likely places, but it won't be the first time that I've moved back along a stream and then caught fish in a spot where I didn't catch one on the first try, so we won't give up just yet, but it's not looking very good. Well, again, this is a spot where I've caught a chub in the past, but I'm not too hopeful today, to be honest. Leave the worm on. There's a bit of an undercut on this bank here. I would have thought the other chap, if he's walked through here, would have tried these spots, to be honest. They're obvious chubby spots. But he couldn't have stayed in them long because I sort of followed him fairly shortly after he arrived. But a bit further down, I think. Well, there's a couple of other spots to try on the way back, but as I said at the beginning, one fish here in a day is success, and two is good going, and 0 is a blank, of course. But there's always the expectation that something's going to turn up. No. As I say, always in the past, when I've dropped the bait in a likely spot, the response has been almost immediate. No, I think I might have been beaten to it today. Right, I think we'll move. Right, I'm literally just about 10 yards upstream from where I was just fishing, but there's that massive bramble bush there, and it's got a lot of debris that's been washed into it by the flood water. So I'm going to try dropping under there. I've never tried this place before, but it's caught up in a bramble. Just let the bait float down under the brambles.
Morning.
Morning. That was a dog walker, by the way. No, there's nothing doing, is there? All these likely spots. Either the Chubb have all vacated in the floods, or someone else has had them before me. It was really tearing through here in the floods. The meadow was underwater, so it was literally over this bank. And you can see how far down the level is now, so there was a hell of a lot of water coming through this stream, as there was the main river, of course. The whole of the St Ives area was inundated. I think this is going to be a shortish session today, because got a couple of more spots to try, and then after that Perhaps dip in the ones I tried earlier further upstream. But nothing doing. While I'm walking along, I just mentioned a sort of modification I've made to my GoPro. I found the audio sometimes faded if I sort of turned my head away, because the mic on the GoPro was obviously a bit proximity sensitive, and I sort of tried various things to improve the audio. None of them will work perfectly, so I sort of gave in and I bought the GoPro official microphone adapter. Let's just stop and pick this litter up, shall we? Middle of a blimmin' field in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, as I was saying, I bought the GoPro official external microphone adapter. It's not cheap. Nothing for GoPro is cheap. Their accessories are a bit steep. But unfortunately, there's no third-party alternative, because they're really clever. There's some sort of software in it or whatever that detects it's their official one and allows you to select an external microphone from the GoPro settings. If you buy anything else, you can't select it. So anyway, I've got it today and I'm using it, so obviously I don't know how it's going to turn out. It worked all right at home, but in the wild things can be different. So it'd be interesting to see how the volume comes out and the sound comes out. But the interesting thing is, this little adapter, I had to buy a third-party cage, which wasn't too expensive, to hold the adapter. It sits below the GoPro, and obviously you plug the microphone into it. It's a little 3.5mm jack, but also you plug the little adapter into the GoPro, into the USB-C socket, and on the adapter there's also a USB-C socket which allows you to sort of pass through a connection into the GoPro, which means I can now connect an external power pack to the GoPro rather than having to fiddle around changing batteries during the session. And I've just plugged it in because the GoPro expired, and it's working great, I think. So that's just a little bit of techie update while I'm sort of strolling along, hoping to find a Chubb somewhere. I'm beginning to have my doubts, but we'll see. Heading towards the bypass now, which is the noisy spot. And it looks like we're meeting a number of dogs. So I better turn off the recording, because people see I'm recording them, they may not be very happy. Anyway, back soon. Right, we're right next to the bypass now, so it gets a bit noisy here. This used to be a very favourite spot of mine. I assume all these sort of nettles and that have been washed down by the floodwater, but when I first fished here, it was a lovely little spot because there was all sort of greenery here. It wasn't looking anything like as mucky as this. I don't know if you can hear me with all the lorries and God knows what else going by, but anyway, I've caught Chubb here on 2 or 3 occasions. It's interesting, there's some bubbles coming up over there. I don't see that very often in the Chubb stream. So we'll cast over there, see what we get, if anything. I assume this is all terra firma and all this stuff. Yeah. Terra firma, but incredibly muddy. apparently, it was a while ago now, I read about years ago the EA did some fish, electro-fishing here just to check stocks and that. And if I remember correctly, they actually had some bream as well, which seems the most unlikely species, but there we go. Yeah, in the past, and I'm not sure if it'll work today, if I cast over that far side and obviously the line swung round under towards the raft, it's worked for me in the past, but I think the last occasion I came here I didn't bother with this spot because it looked so diabolical. That's when the water was low and there was a big raft of debris in here. So now it's had a flush through. Let's see if anything's going. I may try a worm here as well, because it's the sort of place you may find a perch. So we'll see what happens with this bit of bread, and if so far nothing. If nothing happens, we'll perhaps try a worm. Once again, if there's a chub down there and it was interested, I would have expected something fairly immediate. I'm sort of clutching at straws now, folks. I was just going to put it in that channel there between those two reed beds and where it opens out into slackened water, but it's very shallow. I can actually see the bottom from here, so if there are any chub, they've probably seen me anyway. As I say, sort of clutching at straws at the moment. I think they've all gone on holiday. Either that, in the heavy water they've all dropped down to the other end of the stream. In which case the guy I was speaking to earlier has probably had the right idea. Too far for me to walk today though, I'm afraid. Nah. Once again, if there was anything doing down there, I think it would have grabbed it fairly quickly. We'll move on. I think that's gone through. Nah, nothing doing. And I'm really snagged up. Well, that's it, folks. A blank. I did say at the beginning that one fish would count as a success, and we didn't even manage that. I enjoyed trying. I mean, I always enjoy trying after the chub, you know, dipping in these sort of chub spots and hoping that he'll pull one out, but not today. I don't know. I don't think it was the guy in front of me who was sort of pulling them out before me. I get the feeling he must have gone down right down the far end of the stretch and probably didn't touch any of the spots I fished. I would never know, of course, but I can't believe he would have tried all the swims that I tried. Yeah. I don't know really. There we go. That's fishing, isn't it? Still, packing up now, obviously. Lost my tackle on that last rather dangerous cast. That was the sort of the key decision to pack up, really. I'd exhausted all the options in this spot anyway, I think. While I'm talking to you, I can probably sort of show you this GoPro thing, can't I? I'm sort of holding the camera in my hand at the moment, so it's a bit tricky, but there's the obviously there's the GoPro, and underneath it there's like a little cradle which houses the microphone adapter, and then I've got this lead plugged in here which goes to a power pack, and obviously I've got the microphone plugged into the microphone socket, and I've actually sort of strapped the microphone to the hoop that goes around my neck, or the mount, whatever you like to call it. So it's an all-in-one thing now. I just put it on and everything's there. I don't have to mess about strapping the microphone to my lapel, which sometimes it can get knocked off or damaged. So that's the setup anyway. A bit tricky doing this when I'm sort of holding the phone at arm's length. Anyway, thanks for watching. At least you shared my disappointment with me. Maybe next time we'll do a bit better, but I don't know. I was thinking of going up to the trout stream up at Horton for the next trip, but having experienced this on the Chubb stream, I'm not sure the trout stream would be much different, but you've got to keep trying, I suppose. The Chubb must be in there. It's just didn't manage to convince them to take my bait today. Either that, or they have actually all moved downstream with the flood and they're not around at all. That's possible, I suppose. Anyway, so I'll stop gabbering on and say thanks for watching as usual. Thanks for the subscribers, and until the next time, wherever that may be, goodbye for now and cheers. Well, that was a bit of luck. I obviously dropped my forceps out of my pocket when I was putting my coat on as I left the car this morning, and they're still laying on the floor at the back of the car. Well, one bit of luck today anyway.